Hello, hello everyone, and thank you, Rita, for the introduction. I guess you can see my screen and everything. So, um, my video is on. Is it on?
Yes, it's on video and presentation.
Super. Okay, so I have the pleasure today to guide you through our digital biotech activity. But before we really dive into it, I wanted to introduce you a little bit the team and Innovation Sprint's story and activities so far. So I think, yep, okay. This is who we are. um, People with 20 years of expertise in eHealth applications in the life science, with the common vision to boost digital transformation in the life sciences and develop personalized predictive eHealth solutions using advanced AI. Um, our activities are structured in two pillars, business solutions with the center of gravity being Healthentia, and our research and development focusing on three areas of interest, virtual coaching, IoT, security, and real-world data. So in our business solutions, as mentioned before, Healthentia is our gravity. It's an in-clinical solution for remote data-driven trials. We've discussed several since this morning. It's very inspiring to see so many people getting into this field. We are very proud of our product, being able to facilitate the clinical trial optimization and accelerate the process and reducing failure rate. And of course, validating interventions with real world data insights. Our product is on cloud, but also on premise. It has an ePro and an eCoA feature using a portal and mobile app. And of course, we offer BI and reporting to investigators who can monitor these insights. And by AI means we cluster and try to predict outcomes using ML algorithms. Of course, we collect data through a flexible API and we integrate with ECRF, EDC, and EHR solutions. Our credentials are that we are a Class 1 medical device following GDPR and ISO 27001. And we're validated for good clinical practice and very proud to be used by top 5 pharma. So, but where we started off, as mentioned by Sophocles also in the morning, was Cloud Care to You. It was an eHealth solution um, based on an outcome of a successful EC-funded project called eWall that was supporting independent living of chronic disease patients with IoT. It showed remarkable achievements in the treatment of patients suffering from MCI, COPD, and frailty conditions. And Simon would love to give feedback and discuss on these after the wonderful presentation and case study that you showed us before on COPD. So Cloud Care to You was was a cloud-based platform using this holistic infrastructure of sensing and following the lifestyle of patients. Our research areas, I'll go through them very quickly. Major point is the virtual coaching that we have been seeing in different scenarios from a very novel concept of not having one coach, but actually a series of coaches with different expertise and personalities interacting with the person and trying to achieve behavioral change. But also we will discuss later on by Massimo Caprino and Lucia in the VCare project, where we see a virtual coach helping the rehabilitation in a personalized pathway for an elderly, but also a virtual coach being used as a change enabler, supporting human and workstation adaptation for aging citizens. So, but virtual coach is not our only interest in research. We like smart objects and Internet of Things, and we see how security can be monitored and managed when you start connecting things. How do they actually talk, and how do you make sure that these connections are secured? And finally, and our major area of interest is, of course, real-world data collection. How between several projects and initiatives we try to discover digital biomarkers. We see how we can offer personalized services in insurance area, and of course in healthcare. So you've seen what our activities, but what actually really drives us are these tens of millions of wearables and tracking population health around us. And the fact that we actually know that activity and lifestyle is over 40% determinant of your health status and the disease evolution. We can't stop but wonder why is clinical practice and research failing to consider this powerful data coming from lifestyle and seeing the actual daily disease activity. Could these these data could be the answers to why some drugs fail in real life in the real population? So all these thoughts and interests have brought us to where we are today. This is our roadmap. You see where we started and where we want to head, from the home environment to the clinical trial area and regulation. Where we mostly want to invest right now is the digital biotech, what we actually do with all these data that we're collecting, how do we process them, do we have enough, do we need more synthetic data to be able to get solutions, and how could we use these data to enable a coaching of our patients, a digital therapeutic process to be established. So digital biotech, of course, starts with the collection. So we collect in our in vivo trials objective data using remote IoT devices and sensors, but also subjective data from patient-reported outcomes. These outcomes are mostly questionnaires, customized or famous used questionnaires per disease area. We also use the lifestyle data coming from physiological, psychological, and sociological aspects, and of course environmental data where we can extract context as well. What do we do though? This data that we have collected, once we collect them, we create a multi-dimensional feature vector. We see every data point as a vector, as a feature. I'm sorry. So we define the composite digital biomarker comprised every time of like n dimensions of a feature vector. This composite digital biomarker is then used in each therapeutic area that we address it to, and we optimize it, and using our proprietary classifiers and ML algorithms. So what we use these data is not only to create a digital biomarker that will help us to offer smart services, but we also use them to cluster our patients into phenotype models. This is most important because these phenotypes have information captured on outcomes, on lifestyle, on behavior, and we will use it further on. This is, of course, a post-processing process, while the digital biomarker is a real-time process. We do have strong evidence to believe that our digital biomarker has prediction capabilities. We have validated it using 7 years of lifestyle data, and we have an over 80% accuracy in detecting weight changes. So we very quickly on realized that data are coming in slowly but surely, and we need to get more data. So we started our activity of synthesizing data with a simulator to achieve length, depth, and breadth in our data collection. So we needed to involve people and longer time period, but we know that this is a very costly process. So we instead thought of simulating them. So we have a GUI of basically configuring a simulated and an in silico trial. And then we use our phenotypes that we have clustered from in vivo trials to map information into our simulator model. These models, they define activities and the people, the population, and they simulate days of their lives. So they create physical measurements, and they also create reported outcomes for us. So the cycle kind of closes again as these synthetic data populate again and inform our pool of data, which feeds again to the digital biomarker. So as a bigger look of our process overview, we start the study, of course, with the clinical objectives coming from hospital investigators, pharma. Our starting point is our composite biomarker. We select machine learning algorithms to use, trial data volume, and so on. And we select according to the therapeutic area what properties we want to see in our pool of data. What features do we need our biomarker to focus on? What's important depending on the objectives of the trial. So the trial starts, and we start training the model, the composite biomarker, and in the process, real time, this biomarker is able to give us a prediction of events. Events could be acute events, it could be alerts of many kinds, and of course, a monitoring of the health of the person's health status. We can get exacerbations, or we can get a deterioration of health. This, of course, are the key ingredients for achieving a DTX content. So we believe that by using Healthentia Digital Biomarker as the carrier and enabler of these information, we can drive behavioral change to the user. We can orchestrate a virtual coaching dialogue, so we can use a virtual coach to consume the data coming from our digital biomarker, telling us that he's getting worse, and what feature is it driving this bad outcome. So when we see what feature has most importance to drive a bad outcome, we can then educate, we can coach someone to make the change and do something that will revert this change proactively. So working on flagship projects at the moment with this mechanics, we pick up the digital composite biomarker and we try to meet the needs of the specific therapeutic areas. We train the data and for a period of time, and then we're trying to offer smart services like mentioned before. We are in oncology with Apache recruiting currently for ovarian cancer patients. We are launching the interface project that will be monitoring HIV patients and their risk of COVID and their disease deterioration. Tracer again, COVID-related risk monitoring, COPD for disease management, and the liver LICO for the liver involvement in COPD in COVID-19 patients. So quite a lot on our plate, but we're very happy to be in an inspiring ecosystem of both life sciences and research and development with very key strategic partnerships. So please, thank you for listening. And if you wish to join this vision of developing personalized predictive applications for clinical research and care, do contact us. So thank you.